Donald Trump, what he said has to be the biggest eye opener for all of the Somali expats living in the world. Just put things into perspective. I'm a Somali, British born Somali. Grew up in the UK, London to be precise, and I moved to Hargeisa about a year and a half ago. And it was the best decision I've ever made because I've been living here. I'm stress free. I go about my day. No one says anything to me. This is my country, right? At the end of the day, this is my country. And this is the thing about us immigrants. We get caught up in building other people's countries. If I was an American, I would be straight away thinking about how to get back to Somalia, Somaliland, wherever you come from. Why? Because how are you contributing to a country that sees you that bad? And by the way, Donald Trump is the only one who's actually vocal about it. There's others that think the same thing. That's why I say the least that you can do is build up your own country. And I'm not saying go into politics. You're building your country into your country just by living. I would just advise my Somali American brothers and sisters, especially those living in Minnesota, invest in your own land, invest in your own country. Don't waste your efforts on pleasing another man and another country.
Let me start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Mechak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. Something he said at the end of this video was pretty much, he's talking to his Somalis. I'm not Somalian, but it can apply to any people that's serving another man in another country, that's talking to you about you like the way this damn devil's talking about your people. It's just, it ain't right, man. And, I wish we can get the hell up out of here, but we came here on slave ships, man. And this devil's all over the place, man. You from Haiti, you go back to Haiti, look what you got to deal with. You from down south, you from Venezuela, look what you got to deal with. Guatemala, Mexico, look what you got to deal with. So there's really nowhere to go. You want to deal with. The problem is Esau. Jeremiah 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Yeah, you trimming your way to seek love, man. You want to be here so badly when this devil just treating you more and more like shit. He understands why you want to be here because he's oppressing the whole world, man. These people have probably been here longer than most of the people that are persecuting them. You got some young ass ICE agents, not all of them are young, but there's people that have been here 30, 40 years. Now they're being asked to leave, and they just work. All they do, there's nothing you can do in Babylon except for work. Okay, but he'll create a situation where he compromises even that. Let's see what this is saying.
I think your tenure as Secretary of Defense has been shameful and weak, and you should resign.
Pete Hegseth just got told to his face something no Secretary of Defense ever wants to hear. And it wasn't from a partisan fighter. It was from a combat veteran who knows exactly what a politicized military looks like and how dangerous it can be. When Pat Ryan said you should resign, it wasn't a performance.
Goes back. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you both for being here. We have all worn the uniform. We've all served in combat. We all love our country. We all revere our troops.
I don't know if this is real, man. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's real. I don't know. It's not giving me too much information. Ryan drops the bomb. Hegseth must go. The military loyalty scandal is now fully exposed.
The state of Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis. And yes, folks have.
You gotta watch out for the shit that you see on the internet. I'm just going through my feed. Sometimes there's some good stuff, man, but couldn't really find anything that, I'm just going through the spirit ultimately. But Trump calls Rep. Omar and Somali immigrants garbage. Cabinet applauds. He's calling them garbage, man. And you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. reason why I'm bringing this up, because it reminds me of Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, where it says, all these curses shall come upon thine enemies. All these heathen nations are enemies. Deuteronomy 30, verse 7, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. What are all these curses that Moses is talking about? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. This is one of the curses. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So he sent you here to Babylon. Now you being called garbage. See, we've been called this since we've been here. You know, y'all looked down upon us and thought, you know, look at this African American here. He can't even do this, that, and the third. Now, you other nations are starting to see the same rhetoric that was used on us, on you. You know, so, you know, it's kind of funny to see it. You know, I'm not speaking up against it because I understand what's going on here. These curses are falling upon our enemies.
Done.
Now, I don't know specifically what Somalians have done to the nation of Israel, but these heathen nations, they come here and they get up above us. They're not crying about your plight. They're not worried about what you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you got raped, robbed, and murdered, and they come here and ask for jobs and shit like that with no, not all of them. And I definitely gotta say that a lot of there are heathen that recognize the plight of Israel, but they don't understand what's going on, but they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong. Like, damn, these people been here this whole time, and I just easily come here and get up above them like that. And then y'all got the nerve to talk shit, like, and create all this rhetoric and all that. Like, you know, some people can actually see that and be like, yo, something's weird about that. Why are they still this low? How come they got such a low acceptance rate and Esau got such a high acceptance rate in the school programs when they're supposedly well off already? You know, shouldn't the people that need to be helped get the help that they need, the aid that they need? Why hasn't that been implemented? But yet you look at the whole history of Babylon, they had plenty of money for wars, and they even had a nerve to talk about Asian hate. They had a nerve to talk about that, man. Don't get me wrong, Asians been here for a while and there was a time, but I'm just trying to put things in perspective. What about the Jim Crow laws? The Asians didn't have to go through that. You know, civil rights movements, the Asians didn't have to go through that. The Somalians didn't have to go through that. All of you heathen nations didn't have to go through that. Okay? So when it comes to your plight, all of that we had to go through, and then here you come and you just reap with the wicked. And Esau allows it to be that way because he understands that I can't have them. They're the ones that need to be. I got to keep them down because that's the nation of Israel. I got to keep them hidden. I got to keep them I got to keep my foot on them economically, spiritually, everything. Because if they get up and above me, I'm going to be down there. And that's where he's going to be going in the near future. So when I see these things on the internet where you're being called garbage and you ain't shit, you got to get deported, just like it started with Israel, hey, that's a sign too. That's the Lord working too. And it's going to fully manifest itself when he brings all of you, these governments, into the valley of Jehoshaphat and destroys you. Okay, now you're going to lose your battle, and he's not going to make it where one wins upon the other. All of y'all going to fight each other, and then the nation of Israel wins. Okay, so that's how we going to get the victory. The Lord's going to put our enemies underneath our feet.
You know, horrible things, and people have committed crimes, but we should not be pointing the entire community in one brush.
Oh, that sounds like what we were talking about. You know, we get people, some of our people do that same thing. Now you sound like Israel. Now you see what we be going through. And it's been like that, you know. But the Lord allowed us. See, the difference between us and y'all is that our Lord is gonna protect us. Your false gods ain't gonna protect you. You're gonna reap what you sow. You're gonna feel the full wrath of the Lord. Okay? And we're gonna be delivered in this time. That's the difference between you and I, us and you heathen that's out there. Israel's on the rise and y'all are coming down this time. And guess what? You're going into slavery on top of all this shit, all the reproach and all of that. You're going into slavery on top of it.
And being singled out as fellow Americans.
Oh, you being singled out as fellow Americans? You?
There's a justice, there's a process of due process, and I believe those folks have been dealt with by the state leaders. And but now President Donald Trump singling out and attacking one group of people.
Oh. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Oh, now you understand. This is great. Let's keep
And
going.
ICE being on our streets and asking people documentation. It feels like we are in 1930s, 1940s in Germany.
1930s, 1940s in Germany. Why you bringing in Germany, man? What about 1930s, 1940s America? You didn't want to say America.
Never thought there would be a time where I will tell my community to carry their passport around because you look like Somali. You might be stopped by ICE.
This is how we feel, man. We had passports and everything. They didn't care. He still put his foot his knee on the neck of George Floyd. You never thought this was gonna happen, huh? Oh, I'm glad it's happening, man. And guess what's gonna happen to all you heathen nations? Elam. Actually, I don't know about Elam. I wonder if Elam gonna get some shit. Elam keep taking that Russian oil, man. Elam getting closer and closer. I wouldn't be surprised if the duck. I don't know about Elam though. Elam kind of is because Elam's those Persians too. And they're on that list. He got a list of 19 countries that are on this list. And Elam, going to the Persians, I'm talking about the West Indians more specifically. But you know what? They got prophecy to fulfill. But, you know, Somalia, whatever, you know, it's not that, you know, like I'm talking shit about them. It's just that our people just been constantly going through this. And what are they going to do? You already see the heathen out there protesting like civil rights movements and things like that. And the fact that Jake is out there protesting with them, let them go through it. Let them feel what it felt like. Let them see what it was like. Let them get washed down with water and extinguishing hoses. Fucking with Esau. Ain't no more protesting with this devil, man. He's about to be up out of here, man. He about to be done. And all you got to do is wait upon the Lord, man. But you got to be built up. It's very simple, man. And a lot of y'all ain't. You're going to be caught up in all this problem. You're going to see so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans protesting with Somali immigrants, man. And they're going to be destroyed. So you want to be either aligned with the Lord and see his judgments, or you're going to be coming up against him and you're going to get judged. Simple as that. What's this? Global exclusive Pentagon drone footage answers the question. Did Donald Duck and Pete Hegg commit international war crimes by ordering Hellfire missile double tap on a narco-terrorist drug boat. Gives a fuck. Gives a fuck. Do you know what's gonna happen to him, man? A U.S. citizen, a woman in full medical scrubs driving to work, was dragged out of her car. I was watching that. She was yelling for her life. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen. Okay. Well, you're under arrest, man. Where's your passport? GOP demands investigation into Democratic MAGA donor and former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, who bragged about his secret way to snoop on users. Snooping on users, huh? You nasty Edomite. What's this? California voter says she still gets mail and ballots at her home for entire families who used to live there as long as 8 years ago.
You can have your ballot counted, but you didn't even leave the parking lot of the polling center yet. Your vote did not count because it didn't even go on the truck yet, let alone get processed and counted. So, the biggest state in the country, they're calling elections in 10 minutes. Let's go back to 2022.
Damn, bitch, you got some big ass teeth, man. Like a damn dinosaur.
LA mayoral race. The day before the election, the LA Times drops...
Oh, shut up. Give a fuck about your election bullshit. PSA, don't forget to shovel the fire hydrants. Firefighters in Wisconsin show how long it can take to clear a hydrant covered in snow. In a flash, everything gone. This was in Lumen Padang, West Sumatra, during the devastating flooding. Damn! Right before he left, his whole house came crashing down. That's crazy. Car fucked up. The insurance company probably ain't gonna cover that. Well, you don't have flood insurance. Oh, you don't have flood insurance for your house either. His whole house is being taken away in the flood, man. That's the Lord, man. Took that heavy ass car like it was nothing.
Forgive me if this is normal, but I've never seen pork that looked like this. This is a pork loin. Maybe this is normal. I feel like it looks like Swiss cheese. Like, what are the little holes? I don't know. I've never seen it look like that. So if it's me, forgive me, and I'm an idiot, but...
First of all, you shouldn't be eating the pork. But yeah, your food's 3D printed. You didn't hear the Campbell's VP tell you that? Honestly, I wouldn't be eating any meat. I wouldn't be eating any meat. I would go on a Daniel fast for a little bit. And, I mean, everything's defiled, even vegetables and everything. But damn, how much can you defile some vegetables compared to this shit right here? Who knows? Esau probably find a way to do it. But everything's defiled, man. No matter what you eat. Last thing you want to be eating is pork. That's the last thing that should be on your menu, man. You asking to die by eating that shit.
I don't feel like this looks... Okay, guy.
No, that doesn't look right, lady. If you need proof, it don't look right.
I'd like to acknowledge my...
NASA Administrator nominee Jared Isaacman delivers a powerful and urgent opening message at his confirmation hearing. The last time I sat before you, I introduced myself, my qualification. Who gives a fuck? They are not really addressing a lot of people's concerns right now. Look at credit card balances. They have gone up and up and up people using credit cards for essential items. The inflation that went up under Joe Biden is still there. Prices haven't gone down.
Frequencies are going up. I mean, and what's the post-Trump Republican Party going to look like? I don't know. But first of all, and what's the post-Trump Republican Party going to look like? I don't know. But first of all, they're not really addressing a lot of people's concerns right now. Look at credit card balances. They've been going up and up and up. People are using credit cards for essential items. Car loan delinquencies are going up. I mean, these are real indicators that people are having trouble getting by every single day. The inflation that went up under Joe Biden is still there. So that's
halved from its high.
Well, the rate of increase, but the prices haven't gone down. And so what you have to do is you have to have wages go up finally and meet those prices.
And not bring in foreign workers that just depress wages, as Bernie Moreno just said.
And she had to throw that in there. Not bringing foreign workers to oppress wages, because everyone that watches Fox News is a bunch of fucking reprobates. Their dumbasses don't understand. It's you got automation coming now, fools. Who can you blame it on now while your ass ain't getting paid? Stupid ass. Everyone's running away, so they're not even going to work. They're running away from ICE, and they're still blaming inflation on ICE. Look at all the people they just got rid of, and your prices, and nothing's getting better. There should be, if that's the problem, then everyone who leaves should make the price of goods go down, or whatever, vice versa. And that's not the case. They've been getting rid of all these immigrants, right? Your money should be going up. You should be getting a raise by now. It's not gonna happen. Dumbasses. It's not gonna happen. This place is gonna be destroyed. You're gonna get destroyed with it. Joe Rogan, AI is Russian roulette. We don't know the end result.
The AI race. Problem is if somebody else has superior technology, right? That's the issue.
You know who got superior technology? The Lord.
That's right. It seems like with the AI race, people are very nervous about it. Like, Elon has famously said there was like 80% chance it's awesome. 20% chance we're in trouble. And people are worried about that 20%, rightly so.
It's 100% chance you're in trouble. 100%. You're going to be destroyed. 100%.
That, if you had 10 bullets.
And it's not going to be AI that does it. It's going to be the Heavenly Father when he sends his son over here to destroy you.
It's
not Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan might be a Jake, though. He might be Israel. He's still a damn demon, but he might be Israel. He ain't got no beard. Sad to say, but let's look at Joe Rogan real quick. Joe Rogan's a damn demon. What nationality is Joe Rogan's father? Let's start there. Let's see. His grandfather was Irish. His parental grandmother was Northern Italian. So some of the Irish go back to Israel. Some of them. Not every Irish man's a damn Israelite. A lot of them are Edomites, and they're going to be destroyed. First and foremost, majority of Irish people are going to die. But there are there's some Israelites in all nations. All right? Just want to qualify that. He could be a Jake because his personality ain't, he something special about Joe Rogan. I don't know what it is. He's very talented, man. It's not just his podcast. It's like everything he does it at a very high level, and that comes from the Lord.
A revolver, and you took out 8 of them. You still have 2 in there, and you spin it. You're not going to feel real comfortable when you pull that trigger. It's terrifying.
Right.
And when we're working towards this ultimate goal of AI, it's impossible to imagine that it wouldn't be of national security interest to get there first.
The question is what's there.
That's right.
Oh, he's talking to the NVIDIA CEO, I believe. That's crazy. He's all excited about this shit. He's a damn fool, too.
That was the part.
What is there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. And
That's the problem.
I don't think anybody really knows.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
though. Well, if I ask you,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really knows. He's the one developing the chips to bring it to pass. Fool.
you're the head of NVIDIA.
Yeah.
If you don't know
Yeah.
what's there, who knows?
He's a dumbass. He's a dumbass. Just like the head dude at Palantir. He's a fucking dumb piece of shit fool. Should have heard him talking at his event today. He's moving around in a chair. He's a dumbass, man. This is why you guys got to get taken out. The prophecy needs to be fulfilled. We just got through with Thanksgiving Day with 3 football games. Who cares? Ilhan Omar says President Duck is calling out the Somali community because he's deflecting from his own
General,
failures.
you in particular have been the target of his attacks for a long time. What's your response?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked because we know that the president oftentimes resorts to very bigoted, xenophobic, Islamophobic, racist rhetoric when he is trying to scapegoat and deflect from the actual failures that he has himself. We know that this administration has not fulfilled the majority of the promises that they've made, whether it is bringing costs down, whether it is the tariffs that are decimating businesses in the United States.
You know what? She's smart. She's smart. What's her name? Ilhan Omar. I see her face all the time. This is the first time I actually heard her speak, but she talking about, that's real shit what she's talking about, man. That's what Esau does, he deflects. Now I'm going to New Orleans. Now you so focused on that, you ain't worried about the cost of food, the prices going up, the wars that are going on, the real issues. It's not Somalia, man. It's not ICE. That's not immigration. That's not the problem. That's the distraction. Okay? And in all actuality, he gonna keep getting harder and harder on these issues that don't matter to deflect on the real issues that are at hand. Super hyperinflation's coming, famine's coming, the MOTB's coming. All these issues that you ain't worried about is what he's gonna deflect to. Issues like this. He gonna point out another group. Oh, look at them. We got to get rid of all Chinese people, even though he just let them in not too long ago to go into these schools. Oh, no, he got caught with frog embryos on his way here. Somebody did that in, I believe, somewhere. He was flying from, he was a student at one of these schools in the Boston area. But, he always can develop a story to deflect, and she's right about that.
Whether it is the possible in the United States decimating businesses in the United States, whether it is the possible war crimes that his defense secretary is committing.
Yeah. Ilhan Omar, yeah, okay.
And so to me, it is important for us, one, to remind folks that we are Americans. We're not going anywhere, and we will continue to be in this country. And two, that Minnesotans are resilient, and we will continue to thrive.
She's still stupid though. But she don't know the prophecy. She was on a slope, then she ain't got it all. But she
Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say
This dude is, I gotta rewind that, man. Remix. I can't believe somebody would say that at a position. He's the only one that would ever talk like that. That's how low this place is. It's disgustingly low.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I can say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We got to We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying that we could go one way or the other. And we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage.
That's the chick that I just saw, man. I knew she was hitting the points. She was getting, that's how you know, man. That's how you know. He is right now, he is like putting the crown on her head. Nobody wants to really, when it comes to truth, when you provoke an act, the fact that he even said her name, this is like that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. You know, that's a beautiful thing that when you hit the key points, man. She was getting it to a point though. Then she started talking about she's American and Minnesota's strong, and she couldn't link it. She's probably a heathen though. You know. Now if she was Israel, she could link it back to the. Ooh, that would have been a nuclear bomb through the spirit.
Garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing.
Hold on, they complain. Everyone's complaining. Even other Edomites. They're complaining. They're there. Do you see what's going on with Ma'am Donnie's his rent policies? They're increasing the taxes on the homes over there, and it exponentially. So that's gonna hurt Esau, okay? Because a lot of Jakes, y'all don't own homes. Yeah, your rent gonna go up, but imagine paying taxes. These people who own these, got these huge. You don't have a big, huge mortgage to pay. They do. And their taxes are going up. Yeah, they might charge you more, but if you decide not to live there anymore and someone else can't afford it, then they're screwed, man. You know, they're screwed. And that's the times that are coming. Everyone's going to be struggling, but at the most part, Esau, when he starts to struggle, that's when the guns come out. Because Esau don't be going out like Esau will be ready to take it to the sword, man. That's his blessing. And they've been looking up to him to try to get things better, but he's been deflecting. He got Fox News talking all this good shit. Yeah, we got to get rid of those immigrants, like that lady said. It has nothing to do with the price of your eggs. It got nothing to do with the price of everything costing so much and why you ain't getting a raise. Has nothing to do with that. All that immigration bullshit is just, it's bullshit. Bullshit, man.
Nothing. You know, they came from paradise and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
He said, ain't nothing but bitch. This sounds like someone talking to somebody in their backyard. He's in the Oval Office talking like this. It sounds like he take the pink tie off, the suits on, put him in some shorts, give him a beer can hat, you know, or a raccoon hat, and a stick in his mouth. Put him next to a swamp. That's the type of mouth he got. You know, it's not fit to be in any form of royalty. It should be in somebody's, basement of his grandmother's house. You know, in the middle of a swamp area somewhere in Florida. And and Alex Jones. I'm not gonna listen to your stupid ass.
That nutty leftist Afton Ben from Tennessee kind of learned the hard way that openly hating the district you want to represent isn't a great strategy after all. So she lost that special election race against Republican Matt Van Epps by 9 points. Somehow, that's like a big warning sign for Republicans. It makes no sense. It is a deep red area, and obviously Trump won the district by 22% in 2024. But from what we can gather, people have only been really paying attention to this over the last 10 days or so. And Democrats, yeah, of course, they're totally pumped, and they want to take back the House next year, so they're trying to get out as many people as they could. It doesn't mean Republicans should sit back and relax, rest on their laurels, obviously not, but it's also not time to push the panic button, as I think John Thune kind of indicated today.
I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Let international media in, bulldoze corpses, whatever. What's this? We back, you see the word, a million newborns to prevent one case of Hep B. White House renames building Donald J. Duck Institute of Peace after Doge exposed fraud. The U.S. Institute of Peace building in downtown Washington, D.C. to the Donald J. Duck Institute of Peace. He putting his name on everything, but what the hell? That don't make you peaceful.
It's going to be so big for the auto manufacturers. People aren't even going to...
Let me read the caption. It says, these are the moments the fake news will never show you. Trump in the Oval surrounded by auto execs and dealers, cracking jokes, dropping policy nukes, and making America rich again, all while the room is grinning like it's a MAGA rally. Gunther, you're a dumbass. That's why I sign up to you, because I know a lot of people follow you. Let me see how many people follow you, Gunther. 1.6 million followers. Gunther fucking eats barbecue rodents.
In every single way, thank you. It's going to be so big for the auto manufacturers. People aren't even going to believe the impact this has. You know, Mike used to come to my rally.
This is what Gunther believes in. He think America will be great again. You're going to be eating your own arm. Okay, Gunther? You're screwed, man. And when it finally dawns on you, man, just know you're going into slavery after that.
It's all the time. And we'd have a rally. It was like 0 degrees. It was freezing everywhere. And he'd sit there without a shirt on. And I didn't need that, you know. I didn't say it was pretty, but he would sit there in the cold, and he didn't mind it at all. I said, that's one tough cookie, right?
You lit it up. We didn't need anything. We were there.
We had a good time. We had a lot of great rallies.
We did.
Pennsylvania. Please, Mr. Congressman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I represent the dealer. I'm a dealer, and we got some other dealers in here. In every single way, thank you.
It's gonna...
All right, so that's it. Live IRS funeral coming. Auto pen returns. Jack Smith screwed Minneapolis erupts. Whatever.
We get straight who's here, who needs to go home. Should we have a pause on immigration until we get straight who's here, who needs to go home, whether the vetting was done? Shouldn't we just have a general pause on immigration?
Well, when you've brought 10, 15, 20 million people over 4 years, we have to figure it out what's going on. And to the American worker, here's what's happened. We've brought immigrants in that have lowered wages. And the reason wages can be lowered for these immigrants is because they're willing to work for less money and be subservient to the government. And then that same worker whose wages are being lowered.
That sounds so bad. They're willing to work for less and be subservient to the government.
Willing to work for less money and be subservient to the government. And then that same worker whose wages are being lowered is paying taxes to take care of the very person
Trump wants to bring in more H-1B workers, Senator. I mean, this is what we went around on the other day when in my interview with him. He said, we need these people because we can't pull people off the welfare lines to work it.
I'm sorry. You're telling me these immigrants pay taxes? It sounds like something good, right? So what's the issue with them?
Is paying taxes to take care of the very
But
person
Trump
who
wants
puts
to
their
bring
job.
in more H-1B workers, Senator. I mean, this is what we went.
She got to interrupt him with this bullshit, the H-1B1 visas that you see, they're full of shit, man. They're full of shit. And whenever she's cutting them off, she's bringing something that ain't really helping the issues. Okay, if you're bringing in, you're in debt, so you want to have people work at a lower rate so you can have more money to put towards the debt. That makes sense. They're paying taxes. Okay, that's how you can lower your debt. He's removing that equation. He's making that worse. So the debt's going to increase, yet it's going to get to the point where you're not even going to understand why none of this shit is you're not gonna have any. You're gonna have money with no food in the stores. Like, that's what I see. America, people are gonna have a lot of money, and their bank account is gonna make them feel like, oh, I'm good. I'm sitting on. I might give everyone $2,000 checks, and then I might hit them with the stock market is astronomically high. But in all actuality, your food is 3D printed. Your your bread is gonna go. It's gonna cost a whole day's pay, but you're gonna be able to afford it. But because he inflated the numbers, you're like, shit. Yeah, bread might cost $300 a loaf, but I'm worth millions of dollars. I got $1 million. You're gonna feel like you can, because you might got XRP and Ethereum and Bitcoin and all this bullshit. Okay, but in all actuality, everything's inflated, so it don't even make any sense. So you can have on paper, everything gonna look good, but everything's astronomically high, and you're not gonna be able to discern between the two. But it's way worse than it's ever been.
Around, and the other day when in my input we went.
Let me rewind this again.
Be lower for these immigrants is because they're willing to work for less money and be subservient to the government. And then that same worker whose wages are being lowered is paying taxes to take care of the very
But
person
Trump
who
wants
puts
to
their
bring
job.
in more H-1B workers, Senator. I mean, this is what we went around on the other day when in my interview with him. And he said, "Oh, we need these people because we can't pull people off the welfare lines to work at battery factories." And I don't think anyone's saying to pull people off the welfare lines to work in battery factories. But we have American workers who Congress is supposed to be protecting too. It can't be all on President Trump. He's done an enormous amount, but Congress has to protect the American workers too.
Absolutely. We got college students that can't find jobs. We got kids in their 20s that can't afford a house or a car, let alone get married and raise a family. Like, we need to make sure we're taking care of our own citizens first before we even start thinking about what we do.
Huge layoffs. We got layoffs in big tech. We got layoffs at Amazon.
Yo, it's so much fucking confusion. If you could understand what this dude is saying, it's like bug the fuck out how these Edomites communicate with each other. It's so evil, man. It's so fucking evil. It's disgustingly evil. Like, they don't have nowhere to be but in a damn cell. It's so wicked. The Lord, you talk about the wicked. I'm going to rewind it and try to break what they just said down.
We do.
Huge layoffs. We got layoffs in big tech. We got layoffs at Amazon. And meanwhile, they want to bring in more H-1B workers.
She's a lot of noise. She's saying some real shit too, but she's basically just bringing noise.
We got college students that can't find jobs.
So you have college students that can't find jobs.
We got kids in their 20s that can't afford a house.
Kids in their 20s that can't afford a house.
Or a car, let alone get married and raise a family.
Can't afford a car or let alone get married.
Like, we
or raise a family.
Make sure we're taking care of our own citizens.
But we got to make sure we're taking care of our own citizens
first before we even start thinking about what we do.
Huge layoffs.
But we have to take care of our own citizens first before we start thinking about what we should do about immigration. But see what he's doing now. He's already focused on what he's going to do about immigration before he's worried about the people first. Okay? So he's doing the exact opposite. All right? And this is how they communicate through the news. When Edomites watch the news, they think in a warped way. So this makes sense to them. This is like 100% in their alley. Okay, I'll say, so shit's gonna be fucked up. Okay, that's the plan. So shit's gonna get worse. That's why when they hear this news, they up and ready to go way before you Jakes figure it out. They're already out of here. They're already protesting. They already got the signs up ready. Fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Because they understand, they communicate this way. They always communicated like that. They're not upright. They're estranged from the womb. Okay? But now the veil's starting to be taken away and you can see it. You can see the wickedness now. Okay, that their power is waning. Okay, but it's just as much as they're being exposed, the righteous are going to be exposed in a good way. You're going to know who the wicked is and who the righteous are.
Layoffs in big tech. We got layoffs at Amazon. We got layoffs in big tech. We got layoffs at Amazon. And meanwhile, they want to bring in more H-1B workers.
Evil. Let me see if I can grab this in the book of Malachi 3. Malachi 3 and 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord Yahweh, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, and between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. So this is what you're gonna start to see between the righteous and the wicked. Him that serveth serveth God and him that serveth him not. That's ultimately talking within the nation of Israel, but it could also apply to just wickedness as a whole. Okay, because who's really doing what the Lord wants you to? In these last days, you're going to start to see that. It's actually the last days, and who's doing what during this time is going to dawn on you. Hold on, they've been wicked this whole time. And these people over here, this is the only people that's been out here prophesying about these people being wicked. And then it's going to dawn on you, but it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late, man.
And so we created this thing. I announced it at GTC. And so we created this thing. I announced it at GTC and at one of our annual events. And I described this deep learning thing, computer vision thing, and this computer called DGX-1. The audience was like completely silent. They had no idea what I was talking about. And I was lucky because I'd known Elon, and I helped him build the first computer for Model 3, the Model S. And when he wanted to start working on autonomous vehicle, I helped him build the computer that went into the Model S AV system, his full self-driving system. We were basically the FSD computer version 1. And so we're already working together. And when I announced this thing, nobody in the world wanted it. I had no purchase orders, not one. Nobody wanted to buy it. Nobody wanted to be part of it, except for Elon. He was at the event, and we were doing a fireside chat about the future of self-driving cars. I think it's like 2016. Yeah, maybe at that time it was 2015. And he goes, you know what? I have a company that could really use this. And I said, wow, my first customer. And so I was pretty excited about it. And he goes, we have this company. It's a nonprofit company. And all the blood drained out of my face. Yeah. I just spent a few $1 billion building this thing. It cost $300,000. And, you know, the chances of a nonprofit being able to pay for this thing is approximately zero. And he goes, you know, this is it's an AI company, and it's a nonprofit, and we could really use one of these supercomputers. And so I picked it up. I built the first one for ourselves. We're using it inside the company. I boxed one up. I drove it up to San Francisco, and I delivered it to Elon in 2016. A bunch of researchers were there. Peter Beal was there. Ilya was there. There was a bunch of people there. And I walk up to the second floor where they were all kind of in a room, this smaller than your place here. And that place turned out to have been OpenAI. 2016.
Wow.
Just a bunch of people sitting in a room.
It's not really nonprofit anymore, though, is it?
They're not nonprofit anymore. Yeah.
Weird how that works.
Yeah. But anyhow, Elon was there. It was really a great moment. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
Look at you, bro. Same jacket.
Look at that. I haven't aged. Not a lick of black hair though.
The size of it is it's significantly smaller. That was the other day.
Okay, so
SpaceX.
There you go.
Yeah, look at the difference. That's
exactly
crazy.
the same industrial design.
He's holding it in his hand.
Here's the amazing thing. DGX-1 was 1 petaflops. Okay, that's a lot of flops. And DGX Spark is 1 petaflops. 9 years later.
Wow.
The same amount of computing horsepower.
In a much smaller.
Shrunken down.
Yeah.
And instead of $300,000, it's now $4,000.
And it's the size of a small book.
Incredible.
Crazy.
That's how technology moves. Anyways, that's the reason why I wanted to give him the first one.
That's crazy, man. That's a lot of power that this devil got.
People have reached out to me expressing outrage.
I'm having a tough time trusting and believing you. You don't talk to that many people. There's just no way.
People reach out to
you
me
don't
all the time.
Well, at 2.7 million people population in the city of Chicago, if you talk to hundreds of thousands of them, you are talking to what, 20, 30, 40% of the city population?
On a regular
I bet
basis?
any news organization in here would dream of having that kind of interaction with the population.
Yeah, your ratings are so substantial. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised you're here with just that limited equipment, because there's actually limited equipment that you are operating with right now. Let me just get to your question. I think I know what you're asking. You're asking me whether or not.
By the way, the people who interact with me
Okay,
agree with
okay.
me. They don't agree with you.
Okay.
Take a look at the comments.
We got it. We got
But
it.
the fact of the matter is simply this: that the fact that you think that a Christmas market across the street from City Hall is more a threat to public safety than violent black teenagers running down State Street shooting people
All right.
at a Christmas tree lighting shows your priorities. What do you say to those people, citizens, black, brown, business leaders? What do you say to those people?
Got it.
Yeah. That if they get a phone call from you or they get an interaction with you, they should avoid you. I'm not going to entertain, because the whole premise of everything that you bring up is not only disgusting and racist, it does no facts to it. There is not a person in this city who spends more time working to ensure that we're protecting working people. There's not a person that spends more time thinking about it. In fact, our budget reflects that. My values reflect that. You would do yourself good service by actually showing up in this room with some level of integrity as well as some honesty. You don't operate in any of that.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Donald J. Trump, United States Institute of Peace. What's this? Hold on, I didn't want to. I'm just kind of going through. I got a couple.
Combustion engine with fuel economy standards that were crazy. One of the things that we saw as we were studying the Biden policies towards automobiles is that they were trying to basically end the internal combustion engine with fuel economy standards that were crazy. I had my staff go around and look at car dealerships in the DC area and find the car that had the best gas mileage that was just burning gasoline, and they found a couple of smaller cars that had gas mileage of 36 miles per gallon. The Biden
President also specifically ramped up his attacks against.
Just happened. MSNBC is having a thermonuclear meltdown over the duck, calling out Ilhan Omar and seeking to deport Somali third worlders. We already went over that. Boom, President Trump just crushed the green new scam in the Oval Office today by rolling back Biden's insane standards that jacked up car prices 25% and forced capping EVs down our throats.
And we're not only talking about here, we're talking about outside of our country, because nobody could do it. Nobody wanted to do it, and it was ridiculous, very expensive. It put tremendous upward pressure on car prices, combined with the insane electric vehicle mandate. Biden's burdensome regulations help cause the price of cars to soar more than 25%.
Whatever, Doc. I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.